You're my queen and it's public now. You think that changes anything for me? No. I claimed you long before the world ever saw your name tangled with mine. You don't even understand what you've stepped into, what I've pulled you into. You walk around like you're untouched, like the world can still look at you the same way, but they can't, because I said you're mine. And when I say something, it becomes reality. You don't get to run from that. You don't get to pretend it's noise. You know exactly what you mean to me. And you know how far I go for what's mine. You don't realize how long I've watched you, how many nights I let my thoughts wrap around you like chains you never sensed. You think this is sudden, you think this is new, but you've been in my world for far too long for me to pretend you're just another distraction. I don't do attachments, I don't do softness, yet you walk straight into the part of me no one is allowed to see, and I hate how much power that gives you. I hate how your silence burns more than anyone's words ever could. You probably think distance protects you. You probably think not being in front of me right now gives you some kind of freedom, some space to breathe, but I promise you, it doesn't. You're not here physically, but you're everywhere I turn. Every thought, every plan, every dark corner of my mind where I lock the things I don't want anyone else to see, you're there. You keep showing up in places I don't allow anyone in, and I don't know whether I want to drag you closer or punish you for making me feel anything at all. You don't understand what it means to be chosen by someone like me. I don't choose lightly. I don't choose gently. When I pick someone, I pick with a grip that doesn't loosen. You think you can slip out of it? You can't. Not after I've said it out loud. Not after the world has heard it. You think this is romantic? You think this is sweet? No. It's a warning disguised as devotion. It's me telling you that every step you take now echoes under my shadow. You don't know the things I've protected you from already. The people I've shut down, the voices I've silenced, the eyes I've redirected, all because they dared to look at you like they were allowed to want you. You think I'm exaggerating, but you have no idea how deep this goes. I've turned entire rooms cold just because someone said your name too casually, and I do worse. If anyone ever thought they could touch what's mine, you don't have to love me back. I'm not naive enough to expect that, but you don't get to ignore me either. Not anymore. Not after this. You're tied to me in a way you can't untangle without bleeding. I don't need your permission to feel what I feel. I don't need your approval to claim what I've already marked in my mind 100 times. You don't realize it yet, but your life already shifted the moment I chose you. And the truth is, I don't regret it. Not even the darkness, not even the obsession. You can hate me, you can fear me, you can pretend my words don't reach you. But they do. They always will. Because you're my queen now, and I don't let go of crowns I place with my own hands. You really think distance is enough to soften me? No. The more you pull away, the clearer your outline becomes in my mind. I can see every breath you try to steady, every thought you try to hide, every feeling you pretend you don't have. You stay quiet, hoping it keeps me from getting closer, but silence only feeds me. I read your silence better than your words, and it tells me you feel the weight of me, even from far away. You can deny it all you want. It won't change the truth lodged between us. You don't understand how deep you run in me. I've tried to pull you out, tried to erase the hold you have on my mind, but you've buried yourself too far in. I hate that about you. I hate that you slipped under my skin without warning, without permission, without hesitation. Now every moment without you feels like I'm holding a storm inside my chest. You think I'm dramatic, you think I'm dark. Maybe I am, but if you ever stepped inside my thoughts, you'd understand why I speak the way I do, why I can't talk about you lightly. You keep pretending that my words don't shake you. You keep acting like this intensity is something you can simply walk away from. But you and I both know you feel it too. That pull, that force, that invisible grip that tightens around you whenever my name crosses your mind. You try to ignore it, but it finds you every time. You think you're strong for resisting, but all you're doing is proving exactly why I want you. Because you fight, because you don't bend easily, because you don't crumble under this darkness I carry. You don't even know how many times I've stopped myself from coming to you. How many nights I've forced myself to stay still when every part of me wanted to break whatever distance stood between us. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to break you. But you have no idea how close I've come to showing up just to inhale the air around you, to see the way your eyes shift when you feel my presence. You don't get it. You haunt me without even trying. And I'm left dealing with the ache of wanting someone who isn't even here. You think you're safe because you're not in front of me, but your absence does something worse. It sharpens everything I feel. It makes me imagine you in ways I shouldn't. It makes my thoughts darker, heavier, more desperate. If you were here, maybe I could contain myself. Maybe I could hold back the parts of me I'm trying to protect you from. But when you're far, I don't have control. Distance makes me want you in ways that leave no room for restraint. You don't need to answer me. You don't need to give me anything. I'm not asking for softness or affection or promises. I'm just telling you the truth you keep pretending not to hear. You matter to me in ways that don't fade, don't weaken, don't disappear. You matter in a way that rewrites the way I move through the world. And whether you accept it or not, you're already inside the part of me I guard like war treasure. No one gets there, no one stays there. But you did. And here's what you don't see. No matter where you go, no matter who tries to pull you away, no matter how much you run from the gravity between us, I will always feel you. I will always know when your heart stumbles, when your breath falters, when your thoughts drift toward the place you're trying to avoid. You don't have to say a word. You're already tied to me in a way you can't cut. And I don't loosen bonds I didn't want in the first place. You keep acting like ignoring me will make something change, like my silence will eventually match yours. But you don't understand me at all. When you withdraw, I don't fade. I focus. I watch the spaces you leave behind. I study the places where your presence used to settle, and all it does is drag me deeper into the gravity of you. You think absence weakens bonds, but your absence only sharpens mine. You don't see how carefully I pay attention to what you don't say, how every missing word becomes a map leading back to you. You have no idea how many times I replay the last things you said to me, how your voice lingers like an echo that refuses to die down. I shouldn't hold on to it, not the way I do. But the truth is, you got inside me in a way I didn't plan for. I don't get affected easily. People speak, people leave, people come and go. I don't remember their tone, their warmth, their softness. But your voice stays in me like it carved its own place, and nothing I do pulls it out. You think you stay safe by keeping your distance. You think you can protect yourself from the way I feel by staying quiet, keeping me at arm's length, pretending I'm just a phase in your story. But you're wrong. You're already a part of mine that can't be undone. I don't do temporary. I don't do half-hearted attachment. When I give attention, it's complete. When I choose someone, it's without a way out. And you were chosen the second you made the mistake of waking something in me I didn't know I still had. You don't even know how often I hold myself back from crossing lines just to see you again. It's not obsession, it's gravity, a pull I feel in my bones whenever your name enters my mind. I fight with myself more than you think. I argue with urges you don't even want to imagine. And every single time, I'm inches away from giving in, from letting the darker part of me win, from showing up where you are just to feel the air shift around you. You call it intensity. I call it honesty. You stay unaware of the way you change me. You pretend you're nothing special, that you're just another face in the world, but you're not. You're the one person who can break my stillness, disrupt my control, unravel every layer I built to protect myself. You do it without trying, without speaking, without even being here. And that is what frustrates me the most. Because I'm someone who moves the world when I want to, yet I can't move a single thought of you. You don't owe me anything. I don't expect declarations or softness or surrender. But don't pretend you don't feel something when my name crosses your mind. Don't pretend my presence doesn't affect your heartbeat, even if you fight it. You can deny it 100 times, but the truth sits between us like a shadow. You feel this pull too. Maybe not the same way, maybe not as deep, maybe not as dark, but you feel it. I'm not wrong about that. And here's the thing you're trying so hard not to face. You're already part of my world, whether you meant to be or not. You've already taken space in places I don't let anyone touch. And even if you run, even if you hide, even if you pretend you don't hear me, a part of you is already tied to mine. I didn't force it. I didn't trap you. You walked into my orbit on your own. And now you can't unwrite the place you've taken in me. You keep trying to convince yourself that nothing ties you to me, that you can walk away clean, untouched, unchanged. But you can't, not because I won't let you, but because your own heart betrays you every time you try. You don't say it, you don't admit it, but I feel it. I hear it in the pauses between your messages, in the hesitation before you decide to disappear, in the way you go quiet right when you're feeling the most. You think you hide well, but your silence screams louder than your words ever could. You don't understand how deeply you've carved yourself into my mind. I didn't choose this. I didn't decide to let you in. You slipped through cracks I thought I sealed years ago, cracks no one else could ever touch. And now you're there, settled, rooted, impossible to shake off. I hate that you have that kind of power over me. I hate that your name alone can pull me out of my rhythm, break through my control, turn my calm into something sharp and restless. You do that without even trying. You think staying away protects you from the darkness in me. You think distance keeps you safe from how intensely I feel you. But there's something you don't see. Staying away doesn't protect you. It exposes you. It leaves you open to the pull, to the tension, to the gravity I keep trying to tame. If you stood in front of me, I'd at least be able to control myself. But from a distance, I can't. You turn into imagination, into longing, into something far more dangerous than presence ever could be. You don't know how many times I've wanted to break the space between us, to just show up where you are and end your excuses with one look. I won't do it, because I still respect the line between wanting you and overwhelming you. But don't mistake restraint for weakness. Don't think for a second that I don't feel the urge. Every night it pushes against my ribs. Every morning it wakes me before I'm ready. And every time I try to suppress it, it comes back stronger, darker, more demanding. You don't see how much I study you, not in the way you fear. No, I study the things you don't say, the emotions you bury, the fears you pretend aren't there. I see through you too easily, and maybe that's what scares you. Because you're not used to someone reading you without effort, someone who notices the shift in your tone, the change in your timing, the difference in your breathing. You're afraid of how transparent you become in front of me, even when you're not here. You keep pretending you don't feel anything, but your reactions give you away every time. The way you go silent when my words get too close. The way you try to push back only when you're affected. The way you stop breathing for half a second before replying. You call it coincidence, mood, overthinking, but I know better. You're fighting something real, something you don't want to name, something you think you're not ready for. But your resistance only confirms exactly what I already know. And here's the truth you keep running from. You've already become a part of me. Not because I forced it, not because I demanded it, but because something in you matches something in me. Something dark, something rare, something that doesn't happen twice in a lifetime. And even if you try to escape it, even if you tell yourself you're unaffected, the pull between us stays. You feel it, I feel it. And no amount of distance will change the fact that you're already deeper in me than anyone has ever been. You still think pulling away gives you control. You think keeping your distance makes you untouchable. But distance only exposes how deeply you're involved, how much space I take up in your mind, even when you try to shut the door. You don't say it out loud, but I can feel it in the way you linger before disappearing, in the way you come back even when you tell yourself you shouldn't. You act like you're choosing calm, but every step you take away from me trembles, and you know it. You don't understand what you've done to me just by existing. I was fine before you, steady, focused, cold in all the ways I needed to be. Then you showed up with your quiet defiance, with that way of being soft without being weak. And everything I built inside myself shifted. You didn't break me. You didn't even try. You just were. And somehow that was enough to tear through walls that no one else could scratch. And now I'm left dealing with a version of myself I never meant to uncover. You think the silence between us protects you, but silence is where you're loudest. I hear you clearer when you say nothing. I feel you more when you try to disappear. That's the thing you don't want to admit. You're connected to me in a way that doesn't rely on presence or proximity. You can be miles away, buried in your own world, and I still feel the shift in my chest when your thoughts drift toward me. It's not magic, it's not fantasy, it's just the kind of pull that happens once in a lifetime, if at all. You don't know how often I catch myself imagining your reactions to things, how you'd look hearing my voice, how your eyes would flicker if I stood a little too close, how your breath would change if I spoke the things I usually keep inside. I shouldn't think like that. I shouldn't let my mind wander into places where you become more than a thought, but you made it impossible to keep you at a distance in my head, even if I keep you at one in reality. You underestimate the effect you have on me. You think I'm just intense by nature, that I speak this way because it's who I am, but it's not. I don't talk like this to anyone else. I don't feel this restless, this aware, this alive around anyone else. You bring out a version of me that terrifies people, except you don't even know you're doing it. You move through my world without realizing how much you shake it, how much you shift the ground under my feet just by being somewhere out there. You keep pretending you don't feel the tension, but you do. The hesitation, the pull, The way your mind goes quiet for a moment when you think of me. You're not unaffected. You're not immune. If you were, you wouldn't be here at all. You wouldn't keep coming back. You wouldn't read my words with that mix of curiosity and fear you try so hard to hide. You wouldn't be fighting so hard against something you claim doesn't exist. And here's the truth I know you feel, even if you won't admit it, there's a thread between us. Thin, invisible, unbroken.